Hey guys, Ron Musgrave's Pressure Washing Institute. I'm here tonight with Stacy Jordan from Red Sleigh Workshop, guys. And what we're going to do is, Stacy, you're going to go ahead and introduce all these wonderful folks. Tell them what they're doing, why they're here, where they're from. Don't forget how many kids they have, all that other stuff. No, we'll wait on that one. But go ahead and give everybody an introduction, and we'll get the show on the road here.
Well, Ron, thank you so much for having us here. Stacy Jordan from Red Sleigh Workshop. I'm the founder of Red Sleigh Workshop here out of San Antonio, Texas. We have some friends with us tonight here, all part of the Christmas industry in different ways. We have Ashley Garber from Certified Lights, who's here. We have Sarah Vandermeer, I can't see your last name correctly, from Holiday Home Concepts. And then we have Stephanie, she's from Holiday Joy Buy. And then, of course, the lovely Patrick Russell from Red Sleigh Workshop, our co-founder. So thank you all for being here. And that's everyone.
That is some awesome stuff. How you been, Patrick?
I've been great. We've since we last talked, we've been busier than all get out and up in Dallas with Certified and Sarah, and then we were in Chicago, and then from Chicago we went down to Coral Gables to see Stephanie, and even had a little side trek down there to the Florida Keys. It was for work, so didn't get to do too much sun tanning. I did get a little burnt, but yeah, it's been wild. It's been fun, and just really enjoying the season.
I got some real stupid questions for you guys, since I got 5 other Christmas lighting experts here. When does this thing really start getting busy for you guys? And when do people really hang it up? Because what we're talking about tonight is we're always talking about commercial lighting. I know there's huge residential, and you cannot not talk about that, right, when it comes to Christmas season. But I mean, does the commercial guy have a different season than the guy that is hanging for homeowners, or is it longer? Is it shorter? Is it more swift? Because I know this, shopping center owners and cities, they don't want that stuff up till middle of January, right? I mean, everybody kind of if you do a city lighting deal, they want to immediately, they want it down. If they could have it down, January 2nd, they'd like to have it down.
Actually, some people want it down December 26th. They're ready to have it down.
They're ready to have it down.
Some of them are ready to have it down.
They're ready to celebrate New Year's, right? Bring in the New Year, right? Yeah. So that's a good point. So when does it really start for these guys? And I mean, getting preparation. I mean, I know they may not hang the first light. When does the first light go up, and when does it come down?
For commercial, who wants to answer that question?
I'll get it started.
Go ahead, Ashley.
For the most part, our commercial contracts are generally starting the first or the second day of November. But I've got some commercial contracts we started last week, wrapping over 300 trees in a park for a city here locally. So depends on how friendly you could be with your contact over there. Like, hey, do you mind if I get started a little bit early? Can I get out there in September or maybe October? So we've got some, go ahead, that's fine. On the trees, they're not going to let us put up any sort of actual decor, turn the lights on or anything like that until most of mine are right after Thanksgiving. They'll have a large lighting ceremony right after Thanksgiving, the first week of December. And then, take down, get that stuff down by the 5th, the 8th, the 10th of January at the very latest. That's usually hard time for my commercials.
So the commercial guys like that. So what my city did this year, and I don't think they've ever done this, I'm gonna inquire about it. They just hung up last week the Halloween. They got them up before, I guess.
What does your city do for Halloween?
You'd consider it fall, right? It would be the fall decor. They just use fall colors and lights. And
and lights. Okay.
They put wreaths up that were orange, and the change of the color seasons. I'm in Phoenix, guys. There's really not much of the color of seasons going on here. Right?
There's no seasons in Phoenix.
It's still 85 degrees today, and Stephanie understands what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's Florida.
Yeah, it's Florida. You're in Florida, and it's hot there too. So they're putting lights on palm trees right now, right? So.
Right.
But I was just curious, because I've never seen my city do that, and it was first time I think that they've ever done some kind of a fall lighting. And I'm kind of curious now when they're going to phase from the fall lighting into the Christmas tree lighting. And as everybody, I think everybody knows here, this lighting thing is becoming something that goes on all year long, right? I mean, it's really something going on all year long. Does anybody want to talk to that? Because I've got contractors that are watching this. They might be on the fence about getting into the commercial lighting business. What's in store for them if they jump into this thing tomorrow? You know, maybe Sarah, because you're the only washer here, right?
Yes.
What's it? By the way, Sarah, you know, I got a little bio on her. Most of my audience are exterior cleaning guys. She has an exterior cleaning business as well as a Christmas light business. And you know, give me a little bit of what it looks like when you first jumped into this, and give me the background on that too, because we didn't cover that. How you've been doing this 2 days, 2 years?
I've been in Christmas lights for over a decade. When we started our window cleaning business, we were told right away, hey, it's going to slow down in the winter. You might want to think about this. And so the very first year we opened up windows, we also opened up Christmas with the anticipation of that slowdown. But we were talking to people up north, and that does not happen as much in Texas. So we just had 2 businesses that were going really crazy, and it was really awesome, and we loved it. In terms of year round, I would say when it comes to commercial, especially, budgets and things like that are being made really early in the year, right? So those invitations for meetings and things like that are happening, you know, early on. You have to be ready. You have to be, you know where those meetings are taking place. It's so important. And then even if you go to those RFP meetings and you get everything signed and they choose you and everything else, depending on the size of the project, massive projects, you'll see them installing. I've seen it as early as late August going into September. They'll do things like the tree wraps or things like that are a little bit more innocuous, that, you know, it's not so obvious to people. And then they'll do the bigger displays as it gets closer. But they're doing it the whole way sooner than you would anticipate them doing it, for sure.
Yeah, no, I could see that. And then getting back on that budget thing, because I don't think guys know this, and it works the same in washing as it does in the Christmas tree, you know, RFPs. They're deciding the 26 stuff right now. I mean, they're really that's how much you got to be on top of the commercial thing, because they're making their 26 budgets right now. And of course, we all know that relationship building means everything. And you know, you might be the guy that they chose for 25, and it's just a given they're going to choose you again for 26. But when you're dealing with this commercial situation, all too often they're talking about, you know, making those decisions like now versus, you know, waiting till next year. I think somebody that is waiting till next year probably, I don't want to say they're a bad manager, because we don't want to tell customers they're bad. But I mean, most of my commercial clients are situating all of their washing for 26 is being done right now. Does it work that same way, or do they really put it right up to the wire again and decide it next year? And whoever wants to take that question can take that.
For me, it depends on the client. So I have a lot of clients that want to get ahead of it. And I always say that if you can get ahead of it, it is better because there are cost savings. But I do have clients that just signed in the last 2 weeks for December installs.
Interesting. Okay.
And these are large clients too. They're not just like a residential interior. It's like a commercial hotel or something along those lines.
Hotels, cities, different things. And I've noticed this year especially that people are slower to commit just because it's been very unknown. Right. But everyone wants Christmas.
Yeah, it always fixes everything, right? Isn't that what happens? Christmas time fixes everything. Everybody right now is uncertain. It's not busy yet, but then all of a sudden next month comes on, and all of a sudden holidays come on, and everybody just says, we're going to be broke. We might as well have a good Christmas. You know, who knows?
Hopefully that's what they say.
We'll spend all of our money. You know, no. That's
can I circle back real quick?
Sure.
You had asked about year-round lighting and getting into that. If someone's coming in from the pressure washing area into lighting and being able to do it year-round, that's been a huge shift over the last I don't know, 5 or 6 years with the permanent lighting coming into play, right? So for residential and commercial, there's a lot of different products to choose from, but there is a permanent lighting brand that people use, or not a brand, is permanent lighting product that you can use for residential and commercial, where you can be doing that year round. And one of my clients just last week was telling me that they're killing it in permanent lighting for all of their residential clients. And he's going into commercial as well, but mainly with the residential, where I can't remember if Patrick remembers the number he gave me, but it was like, he just closed like $50,000 in just permanent lighting in the last like month and a half or something, which is huge for an owner operator company. For a small business to do that, it's just amazing, especially in the off season. So that's something that everyone
I told you last time I think on our last interview, I've got a really good guy I've known for 30 years. And when I met him it's probably more like 40 years. When I met him in college, he was a nut job, and I really never thought about it. And I re-engaged with him, like 10 or 15 years later or something like that. And I didn't realize that he had built a ginormous, lighting business, not permanent lighting, just year-round lighting. And I was telling you that he's got 2 or 3 trucks going full-time doing weddings, which is just blows my mind that the kind of money, I've got girls, so I know what people spend on weddings, but, to spend $50,000 on lights for a wedding, to me, that just seems unfathomable. You know what I mean? I think my biggest wedding expense was, I think it was $25,000. So hopefully we control the budget a little bit better. I got 3 more to get through that right now.
Ooh, so, good luck with that.
Yeah, I know.
And just, along with what Stacy was saying and kind of what you're alluding to a little bit, that landscape lighting industry is really starting to lead into RGB lighting that sequences out with the permanent lighting to go with it. So the expansion of architectural lighting as it meets Christmas is really converging very, very quickly. And I think we're going to see some major shifts in the industry overall because of it.
Yeah. I'm wondering, without getting into the politics of things, do you think that that's changed a little bit of what's going on out there? Because I would think right now, more and more people, are going to be doing lighting. I think there'll probably be a bigger light. I'm not rooting for you guys. I just believe that there's going to be more lighting this year than probably anybody's seen.
We've seen more lighting. Just from a residential aspect, commercial aspect, we've had more requests this year than we did last year, which I think we were a little bit shocked by, just because of how volatile everything's been. You don't really know how customers are feeling until you really get up into it. So, from everyone that I've talked to, it's looking like it's going to be a really positive year for growth, revenue, and just general customer count.
Do you think that atmosphere up that? I don't want to talk about religion, but let's face it, this is what this is about, right? So do you believe that really this atmosphere here is gearing up some of that? And I didn't mean to go this way, but it's in my head and it just popped out. Do you guys all believe that? Obviously you want to believe that because you all are in the business, but I personally think if there was somehow to hedge this on the stock market, I would have probably dumped some money into it 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Christmas lights is a luxury industry, like a lot of them out there. And people are tightening their purse strings. But I think what we're finding is that when it's an emotional sale that's very external, people are more willing to keep the feeling of sameness, a feeling of hope. So if it's something, like luxury purses, you're seeing some decline in those types of things. Whereas Christmas, you want your kids to feel the same. You want things to, carry on the outside. And a lot of times people will put money into that, even if they're pulling back in other places. So, I work in window cleaning. So I live in a very red state. It's in Texas, so our window cleaning has been good. But I know a lot of people all over the U.S. who work in window cleaning, and depending on where they live, they're seeing people pull back in there, but not with Christmas. And I think it's because of that emotional sale that's attached with it.
Yeah, and when the economy's bad, right? There's a couple of things we can count on. The pet store is going to be busy, right? Because what are people doing? They're not vacationing, so they're taking their pets. They're spending more time with their pets. And then Christmas, it's the kids, right? I mean, most of the time, like you said, keeping things the status quo. We're doing that. Hey, maybe we're not going up to Vail, Colorado to ski this Christmas, but we're going to make sure the house has a great Christmas display. That's awesome. Hey, Sarah, before we forget, explain to me, you mentioned to me that you have this thing that makes, and give me the web address, the whole 9 yards. You've got an estimator that makes it easier. And I didn't ask you this. Is this something that other people can use? Is this something you have available for other contractors to be able to use?
Yeah, so I am the founder of Holiday Home Concepts. It's just holidayhomeconcepts.com. And it is a design and rendering tool. So you can take a picture of your client's house. You can start designing on it, and it's measuring how many bulbs you need, how much length you need. It's multiplying it by your pricing. And so it's just a great way for professional installers to be able to estimate and delegate that estimation to their teams as well. Last year, we had just over 800 users, which is really exciting. It looks like we are going to be doubling that again this year, which is fantastic. And it's definitely something we really believe in because we're our own client in that case.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Does anybody on this panel here use your tools, or?
I use it almost every day.
Tell us about it, Ashley.
Very, very user friendly. So we use it in our office because again, we have our own installation business that we've been doing 19 years. It's going to be 20th season in 2026. So we use this tool every single day for all of our sales, whether it's commercial or residential. Extremely easy, nice features. My favorite feature is just the simplicity of the spacing, because I think a lot of people tend to get that incorrect. They think that, okay, this is going to look the same, especially now with the introduction of AI. Being able to upload a picture of a customer's home and say, okay, this is exactly what it's going to look like. Most people are visual and they want to be able to see and connect with what your proposal's reading without it adding extra windows or changing the landscape or doing some funky
stuff.
I
can see what a huge advantage that would have for you. Huge advantage. I mean,
Absolutely.
if I'm on the fence and I'm going to use somebody, because you're really buying something if all parties are strangers, right? Let's say the competitors, you and the consumer are all strangers. Nobody really knows what their place is going to really look like, right? They don't know the final thing, I mean, and I know in the past probably, none of you go way back as far as I do, but I'm sure somebody, 40 years ago shot a Polaroid of their friend's house and, handed it to you and said, hey, can you make my house look like this? Only their house was, a 2-bedroom, single family house. And they were showing you their, friends that has a mansion or something, and you're like, well, we can't do that kind of work for you. You're gonna do something better than that. But I could see that, that would make me, even if you were more money, I might want to go, because, you're sitting there going, you're going to spend all this money anyways. And you go, a few more dollars, hey, they're going to make my place look just like this. So I bet, do the commercial buyers really like that? I bet they do, huh?
So we actually just added in a custom feature tool where you're going to be able to upload those big displays that you normally wouldn't see in Holiday Home Concepts. And we're actually partnering up with other vendors, including Certified Lights, and they're going to help produce some of those graphics for everyone. Because one of the hardest things when you're trying to do like a mock-up on Photoshop or anything else, one, you have to have like the skill level for it. And two, you have to know where to actually get that stuff. Is it something you can buy? All that kind of thing. And we're trying to really help people with that. It was actually an inspiration when I was talking to Stacy when I had first met her. I was like, this makes so much sense. why aren't we doing something like this? And, I've been working a lot with Ashley. We absolutely love them. We've known them for, gosh, I feel like at least 4 years now, something like that. And we just keep listening to that feedback and helping people get there. But I just had someone, I think it was 2 days ago, who messaged on social media and was like, hey, I just closed a 10K job. Because the second they saw the rendering we did with your software, it was an immediate yes. And then another guy commented under him.
Who's gonna send me a rendering? You guys should have did my house before you came on. That's what I should have did. I should have sent you a picture. Then we could have showed everybody, right? Does anybody have one they want to send me in that group? I'll pop it up here so everybody can kind of see.
I can probably send you some, but I do want to say
send it right in Messenger, right there in Messenger if you can.
Yeah, we'll do.
Before we end this thing tonight, who wants to answer this question? You know what? Since you're so quiet there, why don't you answer the question? Because you got that, Stephanie? Can you answer it? Where would they go for training? Did I lose you?
I'm going to let Stacy take that one.
Stacy? Okay, Stacy.
Well, at Red Sleigh Workshop, we can actually set everyone up with their training that they're looking for. So there's different levels of training that people need. Some people are brand new in the industry. So Certified Lights is a great place to go for that. There's other people who need additional training. And so if they were emailing me, Stacy at redsleighworkshop.com, I can definitely set them up with whatever path they need to be on. Because there's different tracks. Some people might need what Stephanie does, the interior type of projects for hotels or for really high-end residential clients. Some people might need residential training, like what Ashley does at Certified Lights and through We Hang Christmas Lights. Josh Trees over there. So what they do is different than what other companies do. Patrick and I work on the commercial space where we train people for commercial Christmas lighting. So if you're interested in starting out commercial, we can help you with that. If you're interested in residential, we can help point you in the right direction, what track you need to be on. So that's what they should do. Just email me or Patrick.
This is a good friend of mine here, John, and he's in New Jersey. So, and he's all commercial, I think. I don't know. Maybe you'll chime back in, John, there.
John, you use commercial pressure washer?
No. He has a huge commercial business that he actually does a lot of janitorial work, but he has massive buildings. Are you going to put the lights on Giant Stadium? That's one of his accounts. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Okay, high-end residential. Okay, Barry, so definitely get a hold of me and Patrick at redsleighworkshop.com. We can connect you with the right path for learning where to get the product and where to get the training for the interior restaurant, high-end residential. It's a totally different installation than an outside of a residential home or commercial building. When you go inside, it's a completely different path.
Are you guys ready, though? Can you guys do a stadium? This guy does giant stadiums, so who knows? Maybe
he does giant stadiums. We can design it.
Maybe you'll be put.
I need 2 days.
That would be funny if we could get a rendering of that. That would be kind of cool. You should do that for fun, Sarah.
You know what? I'd be happy to. I will say though, Stacy is the premier person for commercial guidance. Like, there's such a huge division in the industry between residential and commercial. And it's a lot easier to do the residential than it is to do the commercial. It's a really hard thing to move over to. And so for those of you who are like, should I go ahead and bid something crazy like a stadium? Is it something that's in my capacity? I know a lot of people will just say, you know what? We just can't do it. We're not experienced in it. And they just kind of toss it to the side. That's where you need someone like Stacy.
She's told me she's the guru. She told me she's the guru.
Yeah.
I didn't call myself that.
You said that. You said you were the commercial guru.
I think she
Not
said
only is she the guru, but there's almost no one
Ashley,
else.
you tell me, is Stacy the guru or not?
I introduced her as the Queen of Christmas, so that says guru to me, if anything.
What about you, Stephanie?
I'm someone who does direct to consumer and residential, and I'm actually a client of Stacy's. So I secured 5 big commercial projects this year, and one is much bigger than anything I've ever done. So I brought Stacy and Patrick in to help me because 1, I want it to be successful, and 2, I want it to turn into a long-term business. And I understand when you need people who are really astute in the industry to kind of take things to the next level.
You guys, he wants your info there, Stacy. So if you can drop it in there for me, I'll put it up right on the screen. If you got
Okay.
you
Let me
got the
send it to you in
keyboard
the
there,
chat.
throw your info, and I'll grab it up there for you. Did you get that rendering done yet? Did you send me a sample? Did you?
I just sent you one for a mall. I'll send you
Did you?
another
Oh,
one.
I see it. Yeah, that's absolutely.
That's just
absolutely
RGB
cool.
lighting.
Now
But we've got some other
I'm
ones.
gonna make sure everybody knows that when I throw this up, that it's just a rendering. It looks real. It doesn't look fake. Not to me anyway.
Yeah,
But I mean, yeah,
another one I'll send you.
to me that's a huge advantage. I mean, you can show people, you can show them what that's going to look like and how simple that is. And I don't think people realize how many commercial clients want simple, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Well, like I was saying, it's as cool as it is. Stacy's going to be that person to also tell you how practical or not it is, what kind of items that you're going to need, the kind of insurance you're going to need, what to expect. She told this awesome story the other day, and it just like stuck in my head. She was talking about this amusement park where they were doing this crazy garland and stuff. And so they were doing this install, and for whatever reason, there was something wrong with the garland. So she was coming back, she was fixing it, she was handling all of it, but she had to really have a good understanding of what the expectations were, develop the relationships. Like, she just has a really good hands-on approach to it. She showed us another photo of these giant fiberglass bulbs at I think it was in front of like a roller coaster or something else like that. But she knew they weren't going to light up, and they looked pretty in the picture, but she knew she had to tell the client, we're going to have to install some up lights on here so that they light up even at night. These are the kinds of things that people don't think about. I always say you can make something really pretty, but it's not enough to be pretty. You have to be profitable. You have to make sure it makes sense for installation. And that's where you need someone like Stacy, especially if you're new to commercial, to give you a little bit of a handhold and get you over that hump, because you do want them to invite you back year to year.
Yeah, it just reminds me of those. What was that one movie, man, where they were competing with how many lights they could hang up on the south side of their houses? Like, that's how residential people do it. Just the more, the better. You know what I mean? You just keep piling on lights. Pretty soon you've got piles of them in your front yard. I can't remember the name of the movie, but I remember watching that as a kid. Yeah, and like you guys are saying, like that commercial, that photo. I mean, look at it. It's very, very simple. And I don't know if guys understand this, but these commercial folks, this is in their budget. They all want this stuff. They want their centers. They want their commercial properties to look good, right?
Well, that's the difference. We talked about this before, Ron, where it's, if you're doing something with a residential client, it's out of their pocket. It's their home budget. It's their hard-earned money, right? But when you're dealing with a commercial client, that's someone's job on the line, so to speak. That's someone's reputation, but it's also not their money. It's a budget they've been given by either the shopping center, the city, whoever's the owner of the location, the hotel general management gave their marketing person a budget. And our job, being in the commercial space as a designer or an installer, is to make them look really good and help them to move up that ladder at their position. Right. So if we can do that, then we've done our job. And the budget is not always the issue. The budget's usually just, especially in commercial, that's what they have to spend the money, or else they don't get it the next year. So that's not even the issue as far as pricing goes. They're ready to spend the money. They want to hear from you. Oh, there it is.
I feel like I've been here. Where's this one at?
This was in Florida, and I just did this virtually. I have not been there myself either. I just pulled up something. I did a design. I looked at the specs, and that's the beauty of it. You can sometimes get a great visual to bring to the client. even before you get there, just so you have something in mind. That being said, as Stacy was pointing out, you definitely want to have a good sense of that RFP before you do all your design work.
It's
Right,
funny.
so-
I think I was there with Josh, but but I think it was before we both quit drinking. I think the bill was like $1,100. So.
Oh man, I was gonna say, Sarah, if you pull that up again, this is where Patrick comes in. You see that the rendering there. So, what, you see where she put lights on top of the Galleria? What would that take to install that?
Right? It would be incredibly difficult to do. I mean, I'm assuming it'd be easier to go from rooftop access rather than going from the front. In order to install it, I'd probably put parapet clips going across that top with some Loctite. That way you can leave the little plastic piece kind of like sitting there ready to go. And those would be a lot bigger than actual C9. So you'd be looking at a different type of bulb altogether. But either way, not always a practical thing to do.
Yeah, you're installing like Sarah was saying, either from up top or you're in a lift, a boom truck, and you're hoisting guys up there and having them do it that way. So just getting used to all that and getting your cost on those rentals, or if you own one. But it's like a car, they design these cars to where there's always something covering the oil drain or the whatever. The designers can make things look very pretty, but you need to have the working knowledge on how you're going to install it and if it's even practical. So,
Well, you can't use sky hooks to just put those things up in the air.
well, I think Nike's coming out with some shoes now where you can just wheel your way up there and jump and set a light, and then when you hit the
I'll
ground,
have to get a
grab
pair of
another
those. I'll have to get my team a pair.
one. Yeah. But I thought they were developing them with you guys, so I figured you'd have that knowledge, Ashley.
Yeah, I'll get to working on that. That way, certified lights, new item, 2026.
Yeah. So.
But those are the considerations that we don't always think about when we're designing. That's why at Red Sleigh Workshop, we have an in-house designer that I've been working with for the last 17 years. And we built so many projects together, from like little tiny shopping centers to entire theme park layouts. And so him and I speak a different language. Patrick would say, like, when we're talking about projects, it's just like he's sitting there going, what is happening? But it's really knowing what is possible, what's feasible, and then what's going to make sense in the budget, right?
So would it look weird to do those poles? That was just something I was
To
thinking.
do what on the poles?
Just to do lights, just to wrap them like a tree. I don't know. I don't know anything about this, so I was just.
I personally wouldn't.
Maybe
Some
it would
people
look
I could
weird.
see they would, but I don't like just wrapping things with lights plain. I would do lit garland on something like that. But even then, that'd be a lot of money. Those are giant poles.
But not the dead garland. Good garland.
Not.
How do you revive
live garland.
How did you fix the garland problem? Did you revive the garland? What do you do?
It was dead. No, the problem was they had wired it incorrectly. So it had special wiring to connect end to end. And when it was in production, they didn't put the right ends on it. So I had to go there with ends and rewire all the 40 sections of garland in person at the theme park. In the middle of the night. It
wasn't the garland. It was just the lights didn't work.
Yeah, it was the connections. It was how it was produced. So that's
because I was going to say I've had some dead garland, right?
It wasn't dead. I didn't have to. I didn't do
the ones you
use
like you've had for like 10 years and you should have threw away 4 years ago. But you try to. We're not going to send her out to Target because that's going to be a $700 bill for something else. She went the other day for hangers and it was $300. I mean, hangers are like what, $8? I mean,
There's definitely $300.
Yeah.
Don't send me to Target.
They're $300 for hangers.
Numbers check out.
You're on the wrong team. You're on the wrong team, Stephanie.
Well, that's the other part, right? Like Stacy's keeping up with vendors. She knows what kind of products they're bringing in. If something doesn't happen quite right, she's going to keep a note on it. And so when you're working with her, she's going to be able to say, I know who's going to be the best person for this product, this product, this product. Some of the displays that you see in that mock-up, you can sometimes get them from a couple of places, but she has a very good sense of who's going to be that particular vendor to work with, where she knows where the quality is going to be. I think it's always worth, especially if you're going to look at something so big with so much profitability, get someone like Stacy and Patrick to advise you on that. like that little bit of advisement saves you on the back end. And Ron, I know you know exactly what I'm talking about, because I know you've probably been giant pressure washing projects where you lost your shirt on it just a little bit when you were first getting going or whatever, because you didn't know how to do it. But can you imagine if there had been someone who said, hey, Ron, I've got a million more years of experience than you. Let me help you bid this in the right way and take in all the considerations. Wouldn't we all want that? Why isn't there someone like that?
That's some great advice, right? Because in this thing right now where you have that rendering capability now, I mean, you know, somebody can lay eyes on that. I mean, she saw that right away. That light up at the top there probably costs more to put that light across the whole top than to display the rest of the place, right? Am I wrong, time-wise?
Well, it depends if you're purchasing or leasing the product.
And the aggravation, right? I mean, because we're talking about, you got all the other stuff done without a lift. You're going to have a lift for that one. You know, it's going to be a special deal. There's probably no electrical up there, I'm assuming. I mean, these are all the challenges, right? I mean, you know, I mean, they don't, well, I mean, I guess we have solar probably at some point. No solar lighting. Okay. I won't
Not
buy
yet.
any of that stuff on Temu then, okay?
Don't do it.
No.
We'll buy
that one.
anything on Temu.
The likelihood is it won't work.
Yeah. It's
My
going to be broken out the
My
package.
wife's friend bought she kept giving me a hard time because she wanted one of those beach wagons, you know, because we keep going on vacation at the beach every year and she don't got the wagon. One of her friends orders one on Temu, and I'm telling you, it was that big. You know what I mean?
A mini wagon.
It's funny, you know. I was like,
I'm sure she can do one at Target.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
can. Yeah.
There's another $300.
Get me away from her, that's for sure. I mean, you guys don't meet. I don't want you guys talking. No talking.
You know, and to piggyback off of Sarah's point, and it's not just year one installers or that can use Stacy's help. Year 5, year 19, I reach out to Stacy and say, hey, there's this RFP that just popped up. Can you look at this with me, right? Because having that extra pair of eyes with somebody that's been in the industry so long, that especially that's had that main focus in commercial. You know, we've been focused primarily on high-end residential, but we are still very much similar to like a 50-50 split on our commercial residential, but that commercial is very separate than what Stacy's been working on in the last 22 plus years. So just having someone that you can trust that can look at that project and say, yes, you know, this, because I love mini lights on things. I prefer mini lights over garland. So that's my default. But having that extra pair of eyes with that knowledge, I can come in and say, Ashley, hold on, maybe take a look at this way instead. That's always
it's a fun. I mean, it seems like a fun business. I mean, I'm sure it's not all, you know, rainbows and unicorns, because I'm sure there's a lot of stress involved. I mean, you know, once you get it done, and then, you know, comes the time that you get the phone call, you know, one of them bulbs that you need that lift for is out, right? I mean, you know, and they want it fixed. I mean, you know, it's not all rainbows and unicorns. And Stephanie, you got a store. Tell everybody a little bit about your store, because we didn't talk about that.
I have a direct-to-consumer brick-and-mortar retail store. So I do internal residential decorations, but then I also have an e-commerce website where you can purchase all the same decor from. And this is my second year. So I launched last year, and now I'm in my second year of business. And in the last 2 weeks, I fulfilled over 400 orders from my
That's
store.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. People are,
With very minimal marketing budget, using all social media. So
yeah.
it's been really good. My long-term goal is to work with Stacy and Patrick to grow the commercial avenue of my business and eventually build a product line that we can sell to installers. So that's something that's going to be
2026
kind
plan.
of
Yeah, I'll bet you there's commercial people this year as well as residential people, because we were talking about earlier that atmosphere. You're telling me 400 orders. That's telling me that, yeah, I wish I had a stock to buy into for Christmas
So
lights.
I think people are buying into their homes because of the element of nostalgia. So everyone's craving feeling like they're a kid again, making their kids feel like they're kids again. Even in the decor that's selling, a lot of the very heavy colors are selling. A lot of richness in color is selling. and people just want it to feel like their childhood. So they're really after that kind of vintage look, that nostalgic look. People are asking. I do warm white lights in my store. People have been asking me for colored lights, but not LED colored lights. Everyone's craving like an incandescent bulb colored light, which I'm trying to break it to them that it's a little hard to come by. But it's very interesting to see because people in as early as October are starting to spend on the holidays.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's a really good thing. That is a good thing. I guess Barry's just dying to get your information, so now he tracked you down.
Yeah, we are in San Antonio, Texas, Barry, and either one of our emails, it's Stacy at redslayworkshop.com or Patrick at redslayworkshop.com. Just send us inquiry and we can get back to you. You can book a call with us. If you go on our website, I think it books a 15-minute discovery call. So we haven't been ignoring you. I've been seeing your comments over here, just trying to wait for the right time to respond.
Yeah, he's a real great guy. I would love to work with him because I don't know if you guys know him. He's really got influence out there. I don't know if you guys follow or seen Barry. He's got a lot of influence. So
I think I follow Barry on Facebook.
Yeah, he's a really good guy to work with. Well, hey guys,
reach out to us.
We're at 41 minutes. We're 11 minutes longer than we were supposed to go, but I think it was a good call. But here's the deal. Before we get out of here, guys, just really quick, is there anything between you guys that I forgot that you guys want to tell, this audience about Stacy? Because I mean, we really need to have them understand that in the commercial world, she's the person, she's the go-to person. I mean, that's what they should be doing, and getting a hold of her. Was there anybody wants to jump up and say a final thought?
Absolutely. So I would say it's not just that she's the go-to person. It's like she is pretty much one of the only people who to do this. And the reason why is because Stacy has worked for so many major vendors in a very intimate way where she's dealing with those large items, where she's been helping people this way, whether it be for a vendor or now working for herself for so long. To have that kind of experience where you've had that much work in commercial specifically is so, so rare. You're probably not going to find anyone else in the entire industry who has the level of experience that Stacy does and who's going to be a straight shooter with you the way she is. She's not trying to sell you. She's not trying to get, more money in her pocket by, just like selling product itself. She's trying to help you get to where you need to go. So again, not just the go-to, she's the GOAT,
Yeah. And that's good. And that's good that you said that, because I mean, in reality, right, and we're all business people, we have to have all the people that come to us have to have success, right? Or it's just a flash in the pan, and you're looking for the next person to sell to. Where if you establish relationships with the people you're selling to, make them more successful, in return, we all become more successful, right? Because they continue to keep buying, they continue to grow, and that's the really cool thing behind this whole thing, is that you continue to grow, and we continue to pay it forward and get other people in the industry going with it and being successful. I really want to make a thing here. Can you guys, after this season, can we recap this video, and you guys tell us how this thing, how it really all went, and how well everybody did? Because my prediction is, it's like I said, I think this is going to be a record year. I thought that there were some things that couldn't topple some of the things that have happened in the last 5 years. We don't have to recap that, but we know that there was numbers that probably were elevated that we thought we'd never see again. I think we're going to meet. I think in this industry, I think you're going to see those numbers again this year. I really do. And Stephanie just proved it. 400 orders in the last couple of weeks,
Which I packed with like a team of 2. So
yeah, good job.
But I do want to just jump on what Sarah said. So I'm in my second year of business, and I secured 5 or 6 commercial contracts. And with one of them, my first call was Stacy. So last year, when I was in my first year of business, I connected with her and I let her know my intention, timing wasn't right. And this year I secured a contract that I was able to bring her on board for. And I look forward to growing that. I wouldn't call anyone else. And I know Stacy through my mom, who's known her for 21 plus years from the Christmas industry. So it's the first call I made. I'm so glad I made that call. And next year, we're going to grow that business. And my intention will always be to call her.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Ashley, you're just jawing at the bit, I can tell.
I'm ready. I'm ready. So having someone that doesn't have an angle in the Christmas light industry, speaking from a distributor, right? It's very difficult to come by. So if you guys do have that opportunity, you really should take advantage of it. Because just like Sarah said, there's no one else doing this, especially without that angle, right? We have partners. Certified Lights has partners all over the United States. I'm very particular about who we work with. We work with Sarah. Stephanie, you and I are going to have to probably connect after this. But we're very particular about who we push out to our partner network because, like Stacy said, we're usually working with the most vulnerable within 1 to 3 years of their business. And I wouldn't recommend anyone else other than Stacy because I trust that what she's going to do for our partners is going to be the right thing. So if you guys are looking to branch into that, this is the opportunity, the perfect opportunity, the only opportunity.
Yeah, and I think it's going to, like I said, I think it's going to be a special year. I want to thank you guys for all coming out. Hopefully we can make this video again after the season. I'd like to hear how everything turned out. And I mean, I think it's going to be a great season for the Christmas light guys and gals. But Stacy, why, in closing, I just want you to tell me, and Patrick, I'm sorry I'm ignoring you.
No, it's okay. I'm just here to
You work for
smile
her,
like
so anything you say is no good anyway. I'm just kidding.
He's my partner anyway, so there's.
I know he is.
I just smile and
Yeah.
look pretty. That's my.
That's
job.
it.
Yeah,
So
that's his
Stacy,
job.
tell me why, in closing, and this is it. We're going to wrap it up. Tell me why anybody listening to this right now should give you a call whether they're been in this thing for 3 years and they're struggling, or whether they're brand new. Why should they call you?
What I do know for sure is that everyone needs help, right? Everyone can use. I know that I am not the smartest at every single thing, right? And that everyone needs assistance in some way. And if you're able to ask for that help in the area that you need, then you'll be successful. And that's just my belief. And so I may be able to fill in that gap somewhere or provide a reference to fill in a gap in their business that they don't even see, right? And I just think having outside perspective from somebody with industry knowledge just really helps overall and to be successful. I mean, you have to ask for help, and it's okay. It's okay. And most of the owner operators I know, if they don't know that, then I'm here to tell them they need the help, right?
That's it. Join these guys.
Right.
Guys, right here, guys. Red Sleigh Workshop. Get in contact with Stacy. She can help you in commercial and residential needs, but her real specialty is commercial, guys. Make sure you get a hold of them. Thanks, y'all, for coming out tonight. We appreciate you. Ron Musgraves, Pressure Washing Institute, Contractors First. We are out of here.